Hey guys, Omni here. So last night I went and saw Last Night in Soho, which is the latest film by director Edgar Wright. This film, I really dug it. Like I really like the trailers, like the stylization, like this drifting back and forth between the present day and the late 60s in London, and that vibe, that flair, the neon lights of it all, the style, the music. And I've loved what we saw in the trailer, and it had this spin of a mystery to it, a little bit of what seemed to be or appeared to be maybe a supernatural edge. Now, I won't get into any spoilers as far as how the story unfolds, but this is a interesting blend of genres. It's a mystery, it's a thriller, it has a lot of horror elements to it. It's just a really interesting blend. And Edgar Wright really kind of pulls it all together in such a beautiful way as this character that we're following, as the marketing kind of leads you to think that Anya Taylor-Joy is the main focus of the film. And while I would say she's the focus of the film, she's definitely not the main character. We actually experience the entire journey through the eyes of Thomasin McKenzie, who is our lead character in this story. The only other thing that I've seen her in was Old, which I thought she did fine in it. That was just not a great movie, I think, to like showcase her talents, because she is show stealing in this. She's really great in this role. And pairing her alongside these greats like Anya Taylor-Joy, Matt Smith, Dame Diane Rigg, even from Game of Thrones, if any of you guys recognize her. She's Lady Tyrell, and she's got a lot of that edge in this character as well. I think this was her last role before she passed. And Terence Stamp makes a surprising appearance in here as well, which was a nice little touch. But like I said, we're following Thomasin McKenzie through this whole thing. Now, she is herself is a aspiring fashion designer from the countryside who gets accepted into a London school of fashion to follow and pursue her dreams. And of course, there's this underlying theme of, the big city will bring you in, chew you up, and spit you out. That whole kind of mentality that, like, it's not made for everybody. It's rough and tumble. It's a scary place, and it'll take advantage of you everywhere it can. Once she gets moved into the big city and gets settled in, she starts having these weird visions and dreams of this person from the 60s that was kind of going through a very similar journey as she is now, coming to the big city, hoping to get your break. And of course, this is Anya Taylor-Joy's character, and we follow their parallel stories as Thomasin McKenzie is the observer of somebody else that has come to London to follow their dreams, and how things start to escalate from there. And I won't say anything else. It is a wonderful ride. It is a brilliantly told story. If you are paying attention to the movie, you can spot the clues throughout, and it's really well done. And from the camera work, from the visual design, to the way that he transitions between these realities, how he moves in and out of this dream state, how he incorporates things into the real world, how it transitions in and out of being this mystery into just pure horror. It was really, really well handled, and everybody does a really great job in this film as far as acting is concerned. I don't think there is a weak link in this cast particularly. I fell in love with it, man. The aesthetics was really beautiful. The soundtrack was never overpowering, while it was very much, because of the setting, integrated into the story itself. That's why it kind of feels like at times, and not just with the music and things happening, but the way it's shot, sometimes it just feels like Edgar Wright, from the way he shoots certain scenes and others. It feels like you're weaving in and out of this horror thriller and then into like this show tune style 60s musical, in the way that it's shot, framed, filmed, and blocked. And then it just all comes together and becomes this like show tuney musical horror fest thriller thing. And it all just comes together really well. Like, it's just like there's so many styles that I think are being juggled in this movie, and I think he does a really great job at not letting any one overpower the other. I felt myself incredibly invested throughout the entire story. I never lost interest at any point. Throughout the entire thing, I was trying to figure out where this was going to go, what the puzzle is, what's the twist going to be, and there are clues laid throughout. There are so many things that just in passing that you might think was unnecessary or irrelevant that comes back up later, There are so many interwoven threads throughout the story, things that are just mentioned in passing that end up being incredibly important later. Some characters you only see once, but they paid off in a very major way. It's just really expertly crafted, and I don't see this being for everybody at all, but I really, really dug this film. I thought it was beautifully performed, beautifully directed, beautifully shot. The film itself is just gorgeous and horrifying at times. It's the thing about this too is it's really the real world implications of this movie that I think are the most terrifying, because in essence it's this journey of this story of how in it really isn't just show business, but in any kind of business, especially in the art world, how there's this perception or this advantage that is taken of the young, the up and coming, the people that are coming in to chase their dreams, and how that gets taken advantage of. And it's just really what these characters go through in this and what we experience is something that happens then, still happening to this day. And how do you push past that? How do you survive that without sacrificing yourself? Like, it's just a really beautiful story. It's definitely got a recommendation for me to check it out, especially if you're into horror, mysteries, or thrillers. I definitely recommend checking it out. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the film. So I'd love to know yours. Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. If you want to, you can also join our Discord. Links to that and all my socials are down in the description below. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends, Mandy Sher, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yori Korskov, Margaret Grace, Peeling Zim, Mary Bradley, and Jeffrey Hale. Thank you guys so much for your support. That's been my thoughts on Last Night in Soho, and I'd love to hear from you. But that's it for now, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care, everybody.